Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 360 Sports Show. We're coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Thank you for finding us here on a Monday night, our new time, Monday at 7:30 p.m. Thank you for finding us here on the live stream. I'm Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber. We will be talking a lot about the NFL. Week 1 almost in the books. We're here to catch you up on it and get you ready for Monday Night Football at any time. If you want to reach us, hit us up through the comment section of any of the live streams, and you can always email the show, the360sportshow@gmail.com. So Christian, let's dive right on in.
Sir.
So, I mean, we've been talking like for weeks, like, can we just get to week 1?
Yeah.
And it did not disappoint. I think we're going to talk a lot about the New England Patriots, because not just being New England, I think it's a big storyline. A lot was made about the rookie quarterbacks coming into this week, and I think the one in New England looked pretty good. But we'll get into all that. But let's take things chronologically. Let's start with the first game of the year and run through it quickly. Buccaneers, Cowboys. The Bucs win on a last-second field goal. It's the Tom Brady story, and we all knew it. Cowboys go down, they kick a field goal. They took the lead with a minute 14 to go. You could have just turned the TV off there and said, well, Bucs are winning.
Yep.
That is Tom Brady's wheelhouse. He has more fourth quarter comebacks than the entire NFC combined.
Yeah, I gave the Cowboys about a 2% chance to win that game once I saw the time. If it was a touchdown, it goes up to like 10%, because you know Brady's going to go down and get a touchdown anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a no doubter. But I will say, as much as it is about Tom Brady and his greatness, I feel like we know this story already. One of the bigger stories, or as big, would be Dak Prescott on the other side, because I thought he was phenomenal in this game. Coming off a number of injuries, obviously most notable his knee, or his shoulder and his knee. He's got it all tight, or ankle maybe, but
yeah.
Regardless, I mean, he looked like he didn't miss a beat, to be honest with you. And that's a tough injury to come back from. Collinsworth kind of beat it into the ground, but it's like a baseball style injury where you're throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty damn good.
Both of them. I mean, he Gordon Haywarded himself.
Yeah.
And hurt his shoulder. I mean, and then to be not just a functional quarterback, but to go out there and look like, see, Dak Prescott, when he started, Russell Wilson went through the same thing, right? Russell Wilson at the beginning had, he's got the deep ball, he's got all these touch throws, and he could scramble around and make all these plays with his feet. And then, 2014, 2015, and now on, Russell Wilson has developed into man, this guy can just pick you apart too with his arm. Dak Prescott, I think, is going to be that guy too. If he can stay healthy, he's looking like, and he showed it last year, with the numbers he was putting up before he got hurt. This guy could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, he doesn't have the cannon that, say, Pat Mahomes has, but he can do it all. And yeah, I think because of Brady and the mystique and his age and winning it and still putting up numbers overshadows the Dak Prescott story. Mm-hmm. But I agree. He looked, honestly, I think he was better than Brady.
I agree with that. I think, and look, Brady at 44 is just, we don't even need to discuss it. It's just disgusting.
We'll give it its small due.
Yeah, but it's just I've watched it for 20 years. So like it's just I'm expecting greatness every time he goes out there, and I mean just like now look, that might wear off first game of the year, banner raising all or whatever
Sticker.
that piece of paper going up. Yeah, it's sticker. Kind of lame, but
Very lame.
Still all the energy in the building that night, first game. You know he's going to be up for that one, and he was fantastic the entire night. He absolutely picked Dallas apart.
Yeah.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I will just say Dak again, like he threw 58 freaking times. I mean,
it's unreal.
He was just out last year with a shoulder injury. He's thrown 58 times. Now they can't do it all year long like that. But
neither
in
of
order
them can.
to go exactly, yeah. And in order to go toe to toe with a guy like Brady, you're going to have to throw the ball. There's no doubt about it because you're going to have to score close to the 30s, which it was 29-27 or something like that. And I thought he did for the most part all night, stay toe to toe. And I think Dallas is actually, if he can stay healthy, Dallas is going to be, they should be in the top half of the league.
Yeah. About Brady, I know we've said this before, but I just want to repeat it because I think it's crazy. I've said that, I made this analogy. The prime of your career as an athlete in all sports is when your physical ability and your experience and knowledge overlap. And that's that point. Those whatever amount of years it is, usually it's like 4, 5, 6, 7 years, depending on the sport, where you can maximize your physical ability and you have experience to call on to make decisions. And it's the maximization of that. For Brady, it's going on 14 years of this? Because I'd say like 2007 on is Brady's prime. Because, I mean, obviously you give him the weapons, and that's when really like the gloves truly came off, and that's when it was him as the focal point of what they were doing on offense. It wasn't a balance. It wasn't. Now, Brady's last couple of years in New England, the Patriots were kind of designing it to not be about him.
Right.
I think because they figured, hey, we got to protect an old quarterback.
Boy, were they wrong.
And here's the thing is that nobody would expect him to still be doing what
no, of course.
Nobody would have expected this. And he still can make. That's what I think is most impressive. It's not just, oh man, he's just like Ben Roethlisberger looked yesterday. God, the guy looks old and slow, and
yeah,
the ball's like floating out and it's wobbling. It's like it's looking like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning again. Drew Brees last year. It just doesn't look the same. Brady looks, and Chris Collinsworth said this, his release time is faster than it ever was in his career.
And his
mechanics are better, and he's still got the fastball, but he's also got the touch, the play recognition. Like there's no point. Brett Favre at the end Brett Favre right now could walk onto the field and throw at 180 miles an hour, but it's going to be into double coverage. He's not going to see the field. Brady is still seeing everything. That's what's remarkable is his ability to still. And I'll say this, there is no athlete, maybe you could think of one, comment section, call me out on this, but I'll argue there's no athlete in the history of sports who has the experience that Brady has and has still had the physical ability to act on that experience at a high level. Now, maybe LeBron has a chance to do that. Whatever his longevity is. And it's already kind of crazy because basketball's a different sport. The usage rate is higher, and Tom Brady don't have to play defense either. So LeBron is, I think, currently the only guy I can think of that's doing that. Usually all these guys at the end, Michael Jordan on the Wizards was not Michael Jordan, okay? Right? Mm-hmm. Guys that usually hang around, George Blanda played till he was 45. Okay, but was George Blanda throwing 40 touchdowns? No, he was not. All right? So I think it's not just football wise, it's just all of sports. Granted, the quarterback position in today's NFL lends itself to this. We'll see if any of these guys, a Dak Prescott, a Russell Wilson, a Patrick Mahomes, depending on how long they want to play, because sports science is going to allow them to play longer and the rules will protect them. But as of right now, I don't know, Christian, if you can think of anybody else. No. There's never been an athlete with that amount of experience and still the ability to play at a high level off of it.
No, definitely not. I mean, I would say LeBron is the closest bet to that.
Yeah.
I mean, do what he like. I'm not a huge LeBron guy, but to do what he's doing at his age, the usage, the amount of minutes he's played over the years, it's still pretty incredible what he's doing at 36 now. Is he?
Yeah. Yep.
So he's the closest guy, but still, I mean, Brady's doing it for 21 years. It's just
Sick.
I mean, and it's amazing he stays in there no matter what. So he gets injured, he still stays in there. I mean, it's just this is a good segue there, and there's a comment on it too. Mentioning another former Patriot that looks like he duped everybody is Rob Gronkowski. Because I'll tell you what, Brady to Gronk the other night looked like 5 years ago.
Okay, but Gronk has looked like a shell of himself through the entire regular season last year until the Super Bowl and then on Thursday night. So Nick says in the comment section, Brady also threw the ball about 50 yards downfield to Gronk at halftime. He also threw the ball 50-something times almost as well, right?
Yeah.
Can they get through the year? I don't think the Bucs can get through a year if Brady's dropping back that many times. That's one too many chances for him to get absolutely croaked. And I don't care. At 44, you're going to get up different. It's just not, you're not going to be able to take hits the same way.
I do agree
and
with you on
Gronk,
that.
too, has never lasted a season. So one game, yes.
Yeah,
Will Gronk
but
look like
still.
that the whole year? I doubt it. Yes, it looks bad. It looks bad if you're New England. That egg is still being just rubbed nice and deep into your pores. But I don't think we're going to see that for an entire season out of
Well, no,
Brady and
probably
Gronk.
not. I mean, they're still aging, but I mean, Gronk has not looked like that in a while. Maybe since, I guess, the Super Bowl, but even so, like, I think he just looks much better. And also, let's not forget, he took a year off football and then came back last year. So last year, you can't just jump right into an NFL season. The expectations are going to be pretty low, and everybody thought he was cashed anyway. But I'll tell you this, I do agree with you that, the Bucs. Yeah, I know it's shocking. The Bucs cannot live with Brady throwing 50 times. But the other thing they cannot live with is the stupidity that is their coaching staff and the dumb penalties. Let me read you this stat real quick.
Yeah.
Because you'll love this one. So the Buccaneers are the first team in NFL history to lose the turnover margin by at least 3, incur 100 penalty yards, and allow 450 yards and still win. And there's one really big reason why they won that game. Tom Brady. That's literally the only reason, because I think the Bucs get away with a lot. It's kind of like the Patriots. You get away with throwing out not great personnel because you have Tom Brady. It's the same thing with the Bucs. The stupidity of the coaching staff, clock management, whatever you want to say. It was a battle of dumb coaches and 2 great quarterbacks. That's what it was.
Did you see when they called in a play from the sideline and Brady was like, no, and just opened up the thing and called his own play?
Yeah. I mean, I would too. At that
And then
point.
that was the game winner, essentially. That was that back shoulder to Godwin.
You got Arians on one side, and then you got Mike McCarthy kicking 60-yarders when your guy is shanked about 4 in a row. I
gave that field goal that the Cowboys kicked like 0.1% chance of going in. Of course, he flushed it, but like you said, too much time. You knew Brady was going to come back. Pete and Gansett points out Jack Nicklaus for a guy who did it for a long time.
Golf is a different sport.
Yeah, it's tough because, yes, it's a different sport, but also it's one of those sports where, like, one little time, like, you could play football if your back's kind of bothering you a little bit, right? You could, if you have like a broken finger, you could play football depending on how you have to be your body has to be pretty much perfect, or at least you have to be able to withstand pain. I mean, look at
Phil Mickelson. Your body has to be perfect.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Christian.
Look, I'm not taking away anything away from golfers, right? But I will say, like, sorry, it's a different sport. Like, you're not going out against 20 other guys and getting beat.
It's an individual sport. The individual sports,
and also golf is a forever sport, in my opinion, right? You could start at the age of 18 and professionally, and you could play till 48, 50. That's just kind of like, it's not as amazing when it's a sport like that as compared to what Brady is doing, because nobody's ever seen that.
So we'll say no athlete in the Big Five. football,
Right.
basketball, hockey, baseball, soccer.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, what Nicholas did in golf is still amazing, not to take anything away from him. But it's not Brady or LeBron surviving these crazy amount of minutes in these physical sports. I mean, basketball less so
Yes.
physical, but it's a different atmosphere.
While it can take a physical toll, the physical toll of golf is different than those other
Yeah.
sports.
I think it's on your gut health as much as it is like, all the beers after the golf match and
Yeah. Anything you could do drinking beer and smoking cigars you can't necessarily compare.
Yeah.
But that's but again, now we're getting into a nuance of the argument. So
Right.
it's rarefied company.
Exactly.
To-
I mean,
to
that still
be in.
speaks to that, right? You're talking, if you want to throw Nicholas in that category, sure. Yeah, Jeff Gordon of NASCAR. That's a good one.
Colin. How would Tom or LeBron fare in an 18-hole match versus Jack? Well, right now, or back then. Tom is actually a pretty good golfer. We know this. We've seen this.
Yeah, I've never seen LeBron play golf, but I assume he does, and because all those NBA guys do. But I would say Tom would fare. I don't know. How would Jack fare in a basketball match against LeBron? Probably not well.
Da-da-da,
Yeah.
Goodness. So I'm sure this is going to be the thing. I know some of you are probably saying, why are we talking about Tom Brady? It's going, as long as he is playing and playing well, this is going to be a story. It's going to be a story.
And he is now 1-0 on the road
especially
to an undefeated season.
in New England. It's going to be a story. So that was Thursday. Let's talk about Sunday. And let's talk about the New England Patriots. I say New England Patriots losing to the Miami Dolphins because I think the Patriots lost it more than the Dolphins won it. Christian, what's your initial takeaway? And I guess we can do a good and the bad. What was good and what was bad? So start with your initial take and give me your goods.
Well, my initial take is we're agreeing a lot today, which is not great. But
I'll
I do
disagree
agree.
just for fun.
Yeah, thank you. I agree that the Patriots definitely lost it more than the Dolphins won. The good is Mac Jones, obviously, to start. I will say what worries me more so than what I take out of that game is, sure, Mac Jones was good, okay, but you still lost the game, and that's as good as he. I don't want to say that's as good as he can play, but that's about expected, right? Maybe his average, not turning the ball over, kind of managing what McDaniels is giving him, which I will get to. McDaniels is a problem, and putting your team in a position to win. Let's face it. But the bad, he gave up 17 points, but I still was not impressed with the defense. I was expecting a little more. They only allowed the 17 points, sure, but they gave up a huge drive to start the game. Just got absolutely run over. The run defense is still not great. They can't defend a slant, apparently, because that's all Tua throws. And again, they just didn't pick them up when they needed them. Like, they got off the field throughout the game in different spots, but the end of the second half, they get a field goal. The start of the first quarter, they get a touchdown. The start of the second half, they get a touchdown. And the end of the game, they get run over somehow. Like, look, Damien Harris fumbled the ball, and that kind of lost the game. But you can't just say that's one play, right? They still had 3 minutes and had Miami and Tua, who literally, I'm not impressed with Tua. 1st and 14 inside the 10?
Yeah.
And they got run over 6 times in a row, and that was the game.
Yeah.
So you still had a chance at the end. So not impressed with the defense. And Trent Brown going down early, that offensive line worries me. They were down there like their 3rd tackle because one of them couldn't play. So they got a bunch of pieces. And then Hightower, I noticed today, I was watching a couple people. He went out late in the 4th quarter limping. So here we are, week 1. We're already talking about injuries.
Well, that's his first action in. I mean, I know he played some in the preseason, but I mean, legit game since 2019. So, you wonder what his acclimation is to the game. I think they played. It was the situation you talk about. Oh, the defense got stops here and there, and they made plays. The situational football was bad. When they needed plays, they couldn't make them, or when they just needed to hang on to the ball, they put it on the ground. Now, one of those, if you go back and look at, I don't know why the officials didn't have a look at this. That first one clearly looked like Stevenson's butt was down. Don't know why that got, the ruling on the field, real time, it looked like he was down anyway. So why they ruled fumble? I think some of these guys rule fumble, which I guess is okay. Yeah. It's a good practice because you can review it. But then when you review it and it's close, they end up sticking with a bad call on the field. But either way, the Damien Harris fumble, I honestly put on the coaching staff. I remember the play before, they brought Bolden in because he was gassed. And you saw him on the sideline, huffing and puffing. He had just gotten his helmet raked over his face a couple of plays before. The dude was totally gassed. He's wiping, all the gunk. He's totally winded. And they put him back in there. Now, I know it's still on him. Don't put the football on the ground. That's a coaching decision. You got to look at the guy and say, is this what we want right now? Should we bring in somebody fresh? If we just want to run the ball to kill clock and get 3 yards and we're fine, put Bolden back in there. That dude has good ball security, and he can just plow ahead for a couple of yards. Instead, Damien Harris, I think that was fatigue. I think fatigue was a big part of that fumble, and that's on the coaching. That's a coaching decision leading to a bad play on the field.
You still got to hang on to the football, though.
I know. It's still the players.
It's still a bad coaching decision. I completely agree with you there. I think if you just look at the guy, he came out to play earlier. So
yeah.
Run somebody else. But, I mean, look, in summary, they just Mac is obviously the top of everybody's list. Everybody's excited about Mac, which I'm not saying you shouldn't be. He was very good yesterday. Minus the yip in the first quarters is second play.
Yeah.
Where he got spun around and
if that went bad, that ended up being John Smith fell on that. That could have been an all-time how you knew somebody was a bust moment. His first professional pass. He laterals it backwards, is picked up and run to the house, and the Patriots are down 14-0. Talk about teetering, first impressions. I'll say this. The Patriots, I think, also lost that game because they took the ball out of Mac Jones's hands. And I don't think any of us thought we'd be sitting here on a Monday saying that they should have let him throw more. And I get early on that first drive was all runs, that one pass play, and then he kind of got eased into the game. I think he probably had some jitters, clearly. But then he settled in. And they were making hay in that game by going, spread it out, 4 or 5 wide, James White flex out, come back, receiver in motion, and that's the engine of that offense that you know, and we all know and recognize. Hey, it's man coverage, and he did a great job of, all right, I'm looking downfield. I want to push it down the field. I'm not going to look at the check down, but I know it's there. Okay, I'm running out of time. Boom. James White, in stride. Boom. Makes guy miss. He gets 6-7 yards, or he's got an angle, and just turning out plays. When a guy's open, standing in there, taking hits, stepping up and through the... How many times do we see young quarterbacks, all these young guys? Baker Mayfield still kind of gets caught doing this, drifting back and back and back and trying to just run backwards and make plays. Mac Jones already has got that back foot. Wait, oh, nope, step up and through. His footwork and pocket awareness already looks good.
Yes, very good. Yeah.
And he's making plays. Is he a superstar? No. But I think the storyline is you found a quarterback that I think can help you win games. This offense should be able to make comebacks, should be able to complete basic passes, and let the system help him along. And I think they got into the red zone on that last drive, and they decided to say, all right, let's just run the ball and kick the field goal and play defense, when I think they should have stayed aggressive. Now, maybe they've got the confidence after this game to say, all right, we can give him more. Because I don't think they should keep the training wheels on. Why? Why hold him back? What good does that do?
Yeah, I mean, we're agreeing too much today. This is making me annoyed. But look, I think I mean I agree again. Like McDaniels, I think was kind of an issue yesterday. I mean, I guess this is what you do in his first ever game. But like I heard this earlier and I completely agree. Like, how many times do you see like, okay, that pick that Jonathan Jones had, right? Boom, 1-2 plays, take a shot to the end zone, see what happens. You get a guy breaking. Aguilar was pretty good.
The
If he's
tight
streaking
ends
on the side, get him going.
get these tight ends going down the seams.
Yeah,
They never really they didn't
Take a
push that
shot.
yesterday.
They didn't really. Now I think Miami's secondary is good. That's kind of their bread and butter. They were covering all day, and I know people want to complain about like, oh, Mac Jones only checks down. Watch the game, he doesn't, but their secondary is good. That's kind of where their best players are. But I wanted something more inside the red zone. They never gave it to us. It was never Smith or Henry going down the seam. It was never Aguilar outside, maybe that one time, but that wasn't to the end zone. That was 2-3 yards before it, and then he ran it in.
Yeah.
They never took that shot when they got into the red zone. And it just like, I feel like there's got to be a time, instead of running a crack toss to the left for 2 yards, which they did about 8 times in a row, just take a shot. Let the kid kind of rip it and see what happens. You got to get into the end zone eventually.
Yeah.
Now, one note on the tight ends.
And that's what I think is
they only played about 55% of the snaps, the two of them. Yeah. So I don't know if that's just the first game. They're both coming off not a huge amount of reps in camp because of injuries. But I want to see more tight end.
I mean, it could also just be what they thought was a better matchup. Hey, we want to spread these guys out. Now, I'd say spread them out with the tight ends.
Exactly.
Spread them out with the guys you're paying who are supposed to be the versatile, capable players. Again, I look at this is where we're going to disagree. There's people who will look at it and say, finally, the Patriots should have won that game and Mac Jones played well. So that should be even more reason why you should have won the game, and it's upsetting and it's disappointing. I look at it like it's just one game. Granted, if you had won that game, you would be in first place in the division because the Bills laid a stinker. The Jets still suck. And, you already would have had a game in hand over the Dolphins, knowing you still have to go down to Florida. So that hurts. But in the end, what have we said? This team, we both think 10, 11 wins. Now, starting off 1-0, knowing what's coming down the line in the schedule, goes a long way towards building, like, hey, some momentum and feeling good and the vibe around the team. I mean, 0-4 is on the table now. It is. Because if you play the Jets, and again, you just are keeping the training wheels on Mac Jones, you're going to be in another one of these 17-14, kind of just trying to slug it out type of games. And then you're playing the Saints and the Bucks. So it's 0-4, 1-3. If they keep the training wheels on, distinct possibility.
Yeah,
but long term, the long-term look is you lost and your rookie quarterback was not the issue. The issue was that he wasn't given more to do or allowed to win the game for you. And that's encouraging. Nobody's sitting here today except for Skip Bayless saying Cam Newton would have won you that game.
Well, no, but let's be honest. Skip is a clickbait guy. But I would just say, sure, optimism is great. Long term, yeah, but I feel like they should.
the monotone. Sure, optimism is great.
Let's not be too optimistic, because look, I think I initially said 12 wins. Now I'm at, because of this loss, maybe 10. This is a bad loss. I don't know what you can say. I think Mac played well, and the fact that he did play, he's going to have some tough games, guaranteed. There's no doubt about it. And those tough games you might lose because of the quarterback performance. So in a game like yesterday, you cannot afford to lose that, especially in the division. Now the next one is in Miami. Who knows what that'll look like? And again, like, you're looking at 1-3 potentially. I want to see what Jameis Winston looks like. We'll get to him, but next week. But the Saints now are no, drop in the bucket either. Considering you lost this one, and neither are the Jets. I mean, I know the Jets suck, but you weren't the most disciplined version of yourselves this week either. So it's not like you had Miami reeling the entire game. So who knows? 0-4, 1-3. I think you're probably looking at 1-3 potentially now. and you're probably going 1-2 into Tampa, which, well, Tampa's coming here, but I think you're going to get your doors blown off of that one. So
Yeah, and we'll have plenty of time to break down those matchups. I want to get to, and a lot of the same things we were saying are being echoed in the comment section, by Colin, Nick, and others. The vibe is that it's a frustrating loss, but everybody is happy about Mac Jones, and that's I think the bigger long-term takeaway. The way I look at it is like you're going to lose this game, and there's going to be games where you're down, and I think Mac Jones has the ability to bring you back and maybe steal you a game.
They're not going to give the keys to him, are they?
That is what I want to wait and see. If they're 1-3 and they're not letting him cut it loose, at that point, you got to cut it loose. What are we doing? Especially with the money you play. So one game, I'm not going to get bent out of shape out of. They still should. I agree. They should have won the game. But I feel better.
I'm bent out of shape for you. How about that?
I'm bent out of shape for the rest of us. Colin says Mac had the best performance of the rookie starting QBs, and I would agree. Yeah. One of the teams we're referencing here that's coming up on the Patriots schedule is the New Orleans Saints. Now, Christian, yesterday when I came to visit you, by the way, for those of you who have been frequent fans of the show, you know me and Christian have had this ongoing debate over the quality and the quantification and does Kashi count as a cereal? And I think
that was not the conversation.
Well, no. Well, fine, but that's what it's turning. You don't even want me to count Kashi as a cereal. This is going back to the top 5 days during the pandemic when we had no sports to talk about, and I put peanut butter crunch Kashi in my top 5 cereals. That's where that's the origins of all of this, correct?
Yes, and that is where it has stayed. Because I think I can find 8 to 10 cereals that are better. It's like, it's not the Cam Newton, but it's not Tom Brady. You know what I mean? It's somewhere in the middle.
So we've had this Kashi, and it's morphed into Pez's Kashi take of the week and all these sorts of things. Yesterday, I delivered Christian a box of peanut butter Go Crunch Kashi. Have you did you sample it this morning for breakfast?
No, I did not.
Not yet. So all right. So maybe next Monday, live on the show, get some protein. Pre-show snack.
I need some time to kind of realize what I'm doing and the mistakes that are about to be made.
We can have a live taste test of the Kashi. But anyway, I brought you some Kashi, and then I presented you with, I think, what at the time you considered to be a Kashi take, which was, I said, Jameis Winston is going to outduel Aaron Rodgers. And I'll say I was half right, because outduel means duel, not one guy balls out while the other guy MIAs. Holy crap. I thought Jameis Winston would play well because being in a good system. Hey, go figure. You have a smart coach telling you to actually, run a system and not just huck it deep. You throw 30 touchdowns, you also throw 30 picks that way with Bruce Arians if you're not Tom Brady. What the hell is happening with Aaron Rodgers? Is this actually what we predicted? That he's just gonna?
Do you want me to read you a
that he's just
that
gonna mail it in? And you had a great conspiracy on this. I need you to, for the listeners, read your conspiracy here on Aaron Rodgers, because we thought he might mail it in, but this was an all-time bad.
Okay, so here it is. This is all world type stuff. Conspiracy, right? Aaron is not really playing. It's a stunt double to throw the season away, but yet get him paid. Bingo. That's mic drop worthy. I think that might be what's going on.
It's legitimately what it looked like. I'm not even lying. I mean, it was bad. And it wasn't just, I'm sorry. Yes, the Saints defense is good, right? But he just looked like a guy who was out there just doing his normal playing backyard football. This has been his problem his whole career when he tries to do too much. Dude, 2 steps, throw the slant, step into the throw. Instead, he's drifting back, rolling left, spinning around, just trying to heave the ball. And he makes some incredible plays. But
I would
think
trade his ass today.
right
And I'm
now,
not kidding.
right now, if he plays an entire season, and when I say plays, I mean shows up and they choose to start him, they might win 6 games. Maybe. Because he did not look like a guy that's out there focused trying to like maximize the team around him and go win. He looks like a malcontent.
Oh, he literally looks like he should be sitting on a beach in L.A.
So
I think maybe his spirit is left.
Matt
his body.
LaFleur, if I was Matt LaFleur, if they're having a bad year, guess what? They're going to fire you. So why don't you just trade Aaron Rodgers and get something for him? And then you can almost reset your own coaching clock by going to the young kid. And you're going to buy yourself 2 or 3 years because it's like, hey, this is the new guy. We got to you got to give us a chance.
Can we just say, though, was this unexpected? This is on the Packers. Would he show up and play? Sure, but we saw what it looked like with Brady. He had practically 2 feet out the door already his last year, and it wasn't the same Brady. Yeah. It's the same thing with Rodgers. Here you go. He's on his last real year here in Green Bay. Everybody knows he's done after the year, but what do? They keep him on the roster instead of getting what they can for him. You know he's going to go play elsewhere, and you kind of screwed it up. So it's kind of on Green Bay at this point.
Yeah. I think it could get really ugly. I think it could get really ugly.
Is this true? You've never had a McDonald's cheeseburger?
Yeah, we've been over this.
Yeah, but I forgot that. And in the last year and a half, you still haven't?
No.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I haven't.
Top 5. See, this is what I'm talking about. Kashi pick of the week, right? And I'll get to the real Kashi pick of the week in a minute, which is the other thing you forgot to mention.
What am I omitting?
So last year, right? We'll go back to the last NFL season where you picked the Jets time and time and time again, right? And then I think last week, we can roll tape on this. I think last week you said, I'm not going down with the ship this year. I'm not picking the Jets. And then, sure enough, you pull into the driveway, and we'd start talking football, and you say, oh, the Jets are going to win today. They're going to beat Carolina. Carolina's no good.
Because I had forgotten that Sam Darnold was their quarterback. I said, come on, no way. Sam Darnold, I feel like Salah's going to be able to do some stuff. They have institutional knowledge on him, and Wilson looked good in training camp, so they win some sort of 17, 13, 15 to 12 field goal fest, something.
Well, all I'm saying is, the podcast listeners, the live audience here, the real Kashi pick of the week. This, my friends, is the origin of the Kashi pick of the week because we keep picking the Jets. So there you go.
See, I'm always the contrarian with the picks because I usually root for chaos. If I don't have an actual rooting interest, I root for chaos. And you know what? Picking the Jets in so many games last year honestly brought so many incredible moments. Like when they decided to engage 8 on a Hail Mary play.
Really good stuff out of them. Yeah.
Perpetually finding new and improved ways to blow games was honestly a treat to watch.
Yep. But hey, there you are. You're still on the couch. Jets, Jets.
Goodness. We will be doing picks. We will try and run through some picks quickly. Before the game gets underway, because we are doing our shows live now on Monday night so that we can react to Sunday, Monday morning quarterback it, Monday night quarterback it, and get you ready for Monday Night Football. Tonight's game going to be getting underway in a couple of minutes here. So for the live audience, what's your prediction here? We've got Baltimore at the Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. What's your prediction for this game tonight? Who are you picking?
Baltimore still has some injury issues, but I still like them in the game. I never believe in the Raiders. I don't know. It's just something about that. I don't know, that spaceship out there in Las Vegas. Gruden and Carr and the whole thing, I feel like the Ravens will still win.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel. I mean, I feel like the Raiders, again, I just expect them to be a middling team, not bad, but not great, just kind of good. Win games they should lose games they should win. I don't know. Mediocre. Just above average. Give them a B. They're a B- team. The Ravens, man, so banged up. I mean, you lose your starting running back and your starting corner on back-to-back snaps to non-contact ACL injuries in practice.
Ugly. Yeah.
That's just a bad omen.
Not a good start.
So because of that, on the road, I'm gonna pick the Raiders. They're another team. The Raiders are another team that like you perpetually you pick them and you expect them to win, and then they never do. They screw you all year long. I'm gonna pick them in this game, and that might be the only time. This might be the only game I pick the Raiders in.
Fair enough.
So a banged up Baltimore squad. That's it. That's all I'm going with. So we'll keep our eyes as long as we're on air, and that game's going to be getting underway in a couple of minutes. We can update you with what's happening. Any other thoughts from the? I mean, we didn't even talk about it. We talked about Aaron Rodgers. How impressive! I mean, Jameis Winston. I think it's crazy. He only had 180 something yards, but yet threw 5 touchdowns.
A couple bombs too. Which I mean, I guess that's his thing, right? He's got a rocket arm, but he was good. I want to see what it looks like in week 2, because I'm not convinced the Packers gave a crap after they realized Aaron Rodgers wasn't really in his body. So I want to see what it looks like next week.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think Winston, I thought he would look better. You give him a legitimate coach who's actually going to, get him in good situations, put him in position to win. He got to sit behind Drew Brees for a year and kind of watch and see how things, were run. I think they're set up, and I was stunned when he won the starting job. I was like, you renegotiated Taysom Hill to have one of these void year contracts to be your starter.
Yeah.
And now he's still just your gadget tight end quarterback, special teamer? Yikes. How's that going to work out? But, hey, I think the Saints now go from being, Taysom Hill, okay, but I don't think he really helps you be a contender. No. If Winston is going to be, obviously we know he has the talent. If he's going to play smart and Peyton's going to put him in positions to win, Saints now are a dangerous team in my eyes.
Yeah, their defense is incredibly legit. So you put that together, if they have quarterback play, then yeah, absolutely. And I mean, people forget he was sitting behind Brees for that whole year, and not really doing much. And now he gets his chance. We knew the talent. It didn't work out in Tampa Bay, but because we got Tom Brady. Got Tom Brady coming down here.
How do you feel about Brees in the booth?
I honestly didn't really listen that much. So I will leave judgment for a few weeks, and then I will get back to you.
Gotcha. All right. We'll circle back. Homework is to listen to Drew Brees. Any other thoughts, reaction from yesterday's games? From week 1 in the NFL?
Around the league, the rookie quarterbacks... Actually, you know what? I do have one. What the hell is up with the 49ers? What are we doing out in San Francisco? Because I think Jimmy, when he plays, is pretty good. He looked pretty good yesterday when he's on the field, obviously. But I think he's 27-9 now as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Trey Lance. So what are they going to do? Trade him maybe after the year? It's just a weird... I think...
They're doing what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean...
We are going to use both.
I really hope... Nothing against Trey Lance. I just hope for viewership's sake that they screwed that up. I don't know. It's just I'm just being cynical because I feel like...
Wait, what do you mean? You hope that the Jimmy sucks or that Lance sucks? What do you hope? What do you hope gets screwed up?
That they picked the wrong guy. Okay, I heard a quote from Michael Lombardi. Okay, saying something like that.
Is this because you wanted Jimmy? You wanted Jimmy, and now you hope that it just burns in San Fran?
No, I do like Jimmy though. I am biased towards.
I know where you're gonna go. Okay, yeah.
Michael Lombardi had this quote that he said. That 80-yard bomb that Lance threw in the preseason where he's going left, chucks it right. He said that Kyle Shanahan did that more than Trey Lance. And it's just who's that coming from? That's got to be coming from Shanahan. I just Kyle Shanahan. Every time I see him, I just he's kind of an annoying guy. I feel like he's arrogant. A lot of these coaches are kind of arrogant for some reason. And he hasn't really won a thing. And it's just I feel like they're going to screw this up, and I kind of hope they do. But also because I like Jimmy, and I think Jimmy was here, he'd be in a good situation. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they're doing what they said they would do, and it's probably going to be, Lance is here, ready to go in a year, 2 years, something like that. But I'm Team Jimmy.
Well, what did you think of the report that the 49ers got scared the Patriots would trade up to draft Mac Jones, so they preemptively traded up to not draft Mac Jones.
I don't really buy that. Right? If you're trading they give up 3 first rounders, correct?
Yes.
If you give up 3 first round picks, you better know who you're picking.
I don't think they did. Or you're playing. You're not playing checkers. You're playing, Parcheesi while the rest of us are playing checkers, because you're at that point you're like psyching yourself out. You're saying like, okay, we want them to trade for Jimmy so that we can draft a quarterback. We want Trey Lance. He might be available to us because we're hyping up Mac Jones. Somebody might take Mac Jones at 3, or at 11. But somebody might. Okay, so now what if we'll trade up? We'll say that we want Mac Jones. Then maybe the Patriots want Mac Jones. So then we'll kind of play it like they really want Jimmy. Maybe this makes them they come back with a higher offer for Jimmy because now we're going to draft the guy that they want. They don't like Justin Fields, and then you're stuck at 3 and you don't really know who you want. It's like. There's just too much assumption going on in this,
Flying
right?
by the seat of your pants.
There's just way too much wishful thinking. So I don't know. I thought that report was very weird. Now it's Adam Schefter, so I mean it's tough to like not take it at face value. I think if anything, because we always know there's always so much smoke screening going on around the draft, and when we go back, if we cast our minds back. People thought that the Niners wanted Mac Jones. Right. At which point the Patriots probably would have been happy to take Justin Fields if he was available. I don't know. Or Trey Lance. I think they would have been happy. If this was the Niners trying to like somehow force the Patriots' hand to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, I can't see it because the other team doesn't have to play ball with you. Yeah, they don't have to. It's not like, well, you have to trade for him, and we've just driven up the price. It's like, no, we just won't do the trade.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
Whatever.
That was.
Who knows? I guess we'll see. But all I know is Jimmy G keeps winning games. So
yeah. All right. Let's do picks. If you want to pull up the games, we will run through these nice and quick.
Week 2. You ready?
Give them to me.
All right. Thursday night, New York Giants at the Washington foosball team.
Do you think that Cam Newton is going to be a quarterback for Washington after Fitz gets hurt? No? The Heineken, the 6-pack all the way?
It's a betting line on it. I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm going Washington. I was not impressed with the Giants.
Yeah, Daniel Jones kind of blows. I'm going to say Washington as well.
All right. Soldier on. Let's run through it.
All right. Let me get this set up better. All right. Cincinnati at Chicago.
Man, big comeback for the Bengals. Good to see Joe Burrow healthy. Hopefully they can keep him healthy the whole year. Chicago, I think, is a mess, and it won't be long before Justin Fields is the starter. But not this week, so I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals. I'm team Jamar Chase because everybody's dumping on him. So
next.
Houston at Cleveland.
Talk about, the Texans, I think, will be better than people are expecting. I thought that the Browns, for a team that wants to be Super Bowl contenders, you can't have your quarterback at this point in his career throwing the game away. And I know part of that was like the Chiefs defense making a play and he was trying to throw the ball away. He wasn't trying to force the ball into coverage, but that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to feel about the Browns. They're just like stuck at this little glass ceiling of we're ready to win at a high level, but we still kind of do Browns things. But I think they're better than the Texans. So it's in Cleveland. I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland as well. I'm not buying the Texans hype yet. It's Jacksonville, so let's wait and see. The Chargers, actually no, the Los Angeles Scams and the Indianapolis Colts.
Man, Indy, disappointing. They went from being a team that was like, hey, we could be going to a Super Bowl this year to, oh man, this could just be a mediocre fest.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Rams.
Rams defense is legit. Matthew Stafford helps them a ton. And Yeah. The Rams are going to be a tough team.
We're in lockstep, Christian. This is not
All right,
good.
who's going to break first? Here comes the Jets game.
Who's going to blink?
The Jets are coming up. Buffalo at Miami.
Oh, man. I'm going to go Buffalo because I still think that they're the best team in the AFC East. I thought they got ahead and then played like absolute garbage and gifted the Steelers a game. Now, in Miami, it's going to be tough, but I'm with you. I think the Bills' defense is way more capable of defending a slant route, and I think Tua looks less like an elite quarterback this week. So, Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo. Their defense is still legit. The Steelers had a defensive touchdown, so that kind of takes some away from the offense. Their defense is still good. So, yeah, Buffalo. Here it comes. You ready?
Yeah.
Patriots at the Jets.
Jets. I'm not going to pick the Jets. I think, even though I think this is going to be a tough game, I think there's people that are just penciling this in as a win. I think this is going to be a tough game. And I think two rookie quarterbacks. Now, I'm going to give the Patriots the edge because I think they have the better team. But if they have the training wheels, the Patriots, when the comparison... Hold on. I'm going to go full screen for a second here. Everybody talks about comparing Brady and Mac Jones. I think the guy you should compare what Mac Jones can be and should be is that guy, Mr. Matt Castle. Matt Castle's first career start in New York, week 2. What did they do? Training wheels game. It was run, dink, screen, dink. They won that game 16-9. Just total protect the ball, manage it. If they try to do that same thing, I think Mac Jones is already better at this point than Matt Castle was in week 2. Castle became very good. He was like top 10 quarterback by the end of the year, and that offense was clicking as he got into a rhythm. We'll see what Mac Jones can be by the end of the year.
He was good enough for one guy in America to buy his jersey, and it was you.
Yes. Yeah, me and Matt Castle, the only two guys who own a Matt Castle jersey. So I think if the Patriots keep the training wheels on, this is a very, very tight game. If they open it up and let Mac Jones actually deal, Patriots can win this one comfortably. So I'm picking the Patriots, but it all depends on what they try to do, what their game plan is. Yeah,
Patriots defense will have to stay more disciplined than they did this past week. But I just don't believe that. I think Belichick will have them a little bit more ready to go. And it's a rookie quarterback. I don't trust the Jets are going to beat the Patriots in week 2. No shot.
Yeah,
I'm going Pats.
All right. Next,
San Fran at Philadelphia.
Man, impressed with Jalen Hurts. I mean, hey, all the Alabama quarterbacks played well yesterday. And he had the best start out of them all. San Fran, this is a sneaky tough game for San Fran because you played well, then you almost gave the game away. Now you're hitting the road. Philly's going to be feeling themselves. Do the Niners get too cute with some of the Trey Lance mixing it up stuff? I say yes, and I'm picking Philly because the Niners can't decide who their quarterback's going to be, even though they say they have, but I don't think they have.
Yeah. All Jimmy G's does is win. I'm going San Fran.
All right. So, blink, our first different game. I'm going Eagles. The Eagles are going to be the team now that I pick all year long and they lose. Next.
There's always got to be one. Las Vegas at Pittsburgh.
Oh, man. Talk about the Steelers. I thought very lucky to win that game. I don't know if Ben Roethlisberger is going to make it through the year. They were kept cutting to him on the sideline like, oh, Ben Roethlisberger leading his team. It's like the punt team blocked a kick and ran it in. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger had legitimately nothing to do with that. He wasn't over there hyping up the kick return team.
Didn't he score the touchdown on that play?
Like, what are you doing? What do you mean? Like, yes, I guess he's a good leader for the team and he's got experience, but he's teetering that cliff. I mean, he's hit that cliff a couple of years ago. Ben Roethlisberger has good games, and then he has what the hell is that?
Really bad game.
Throwing
Yeah.
5 picks, So I don't know. This is weird. I mean, in Pittsburgh, Vegas, I guess we'll see how they fare tonight to really know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick the Raiders only because I don't believe. I don't know what to believe in Las Vegas, and I know I don't believe in Pittsburgh, so I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh. Their defense is good. They just signed TJ Watt. And that's really where they're going to make headway is their defense. I mean, look, I think Roethlisberger kind of sad. He's in shape. He looks like he's in better shape than he was last year, but he's still not. I mean, I think he's just about done. So,
Yeah.
But defense, Pittsburgh.
All right. Next.
New Orleans at Carolina.
I'm feeling the Saints. I like what I saw. Carolina, kind of in a slugfest with the Jets. So, I'm going Saints.
Yep. Saints as well. On to Denver at Jacksonville. Denver.
Please tell me this is not going to be a nationally televised game because I don't want to have to watch it.
Well, it's 1:00 CBS, so it might be. Might be.
I'm gonna go Denver. They are the better team. I don't know necessarily if Bridgewater can be the better quarterback every single week because I thought Lawrence played better than I thought he would. He's still going to be running for his life, but I'm gonna pick Denver.
Yeah, I refuse to pick Jacksonville until they actually win a game. So Denver, and also Denver's pretty good. But
yeah,
Minnesota at Arizona.
Man, how
You want to talk about Kyler Murray
I thought we totally forgot about that.
and Chandler Jones?
I unreal. What that guy's doing at his
5
age.
sacks in 3 quarters.
I mean, for a defensive player, he's I think 31 now.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
So I mean, it's impressive to be. I mean, granted, like we said, sports science goes a long way towards the longevity of these guys. But I thought that the Titans were going to have a down year. I think people were expecting a lot, and I just don't think that they're necessarily. I think they're worse. Their roster's worse, even though they have Julio Jones. I think their roster's worse than it's been in the past couple of years. Arizona just absolutely dominated. Murray was unbelievable, and I think that continues in Arizona. Minnesota is going to be another one of these, good, not great, B- teams.
Yeah, they're a middler.
Middler, but Zona.
Yep, Arizona indeed. All right, game of the week. Atlanta at Tampa Bay.
Yes.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay.
Without question.
The Falcons
Next.
are never going to beat Tom Brady again. Dallas at
What would be
Chargers.
great is if it's a game where the Falcons are up and they blow it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen. Yeah. I don't put anything past them.
Next.
But Dallas at the Chargers.
I did not pick the Chargers this past week because I said, show me that you can come to the East Coast and win. Chargers teams have historically struggled to do that, whether who the quarterback was or who the coach was. So even though they didn't play like the greatest opponent ever, impressive to come to the East Coast and get a win. Now you return home. Dallas, I don't know. Can Herbert get into a shootout with Dak Prescott at this stage? I don't know. I know it's on the road, but I'm going to pick Dallas based off of just what I saw in week 1.
I'm going Chargers.
Chargers.
If it was in Dallas, I'd feel differently, but I don't know. I feel like, man, Herbert's good. He's a fun guy to watch too. Yeah, I'll probably eat this one, but I don't feel great about it. But I'm going Chargers. Yeah,
Eat that L. Eat that L.
yeah.
Eat that
I'll
L.
Jameis Winston with my W. Tennessee at the Seahawks.
Seattle.
Yeah.
All the way.
No question, especially in Seattle with the packed house. Yeah, no way.
Yep. Titans down. I think the Titans are going to have a 9-8 type of year.
Well, things are going well because Mike Vrabel's already calling out Julio Jones. So great start. And the Sunday night matchup, Kansas City at Baltimore.
KC.
Yeah.
I know it's in Baltimore, but let's check
Doesn't
in.
matter.
Let's check in right now where we are. Nothing. Early first quarter between the Ravens and the Raiders. So you're playing Monday night, then they're gonna go play Sunday night. KC pulled a W out of their behinds. But I think they're still the better team than Baltimore. I don't with the injuries, I don't think Baltimore's going to be able to hang. So that should be a good game, though. That should be fun. I think that's going to be a shootout. But I'm picking KC.
Should be, yeah. KC as well, yeah. And the final game of the
next
week,
Monday,
a classic Thanksgiving bout. Detroit at Green Bay. Oh my God, what a sucky game!
That's a Monday. All right, well. Luckily, we have the show, and so we don't even need to watch that game. That is not... Who schedules these... Oh, I guess, granted, they thought it'd be Aaron Rodgers, but we already know that it's not Aaron Rodgers. It is his stunt double in there to just help Aaron Rodgers collect a paycheck while he's out in Maui somewhere, soaking up the rays. He's
still filming State Farm commercials, but that's about it.
Man, I think that the Packers sucked so much yesterday that they are forcing me to pick Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. That is how just disgusted I am in their performance yesterday.
Oh, that is rough. I don't feel good about picking either of these teams.
Can we pick a tie? Something ugly.
Can we just let's just not pick this one.
An 8-8 tie.
I think we should pretend like it doesn't exist because I think that's really what everybody should do.
Like the Hobbit movies, they don't exist. Nope.
I'm gonna
Game of Thrones season 8 doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm gonna reluctantly take Green Bay, but I have zero amount of confidence. I can't bring myself to pick a Dan Campbell led team. So here we are. It's either hippie Aaron Rodgers, who is not really playing, or Dan Campbell, and I'm going to take Rodgers.
I'm rolling with the PC principle.
Yeah,
Lions
I don't like it.
You know, they say let sleeping lions lay. You know, they don't sleep. Those lions don't sleep.
Yeah, this is Jared Goff, the greatest matchup ever. Jared Goff versus fake Aaron Rodgers. What a Monday night matchup.
Oh, God. That is, not. Blech. Blech, blech, blech. Still no score. 8 minutes to go in the first quarter between the Ravens and the Raiders. So we'll be able to catch you up on that one next Monday. But I like this. I like that we have the show on a Monday because we can right away catch you up on everything that went down on Sunday. And then preview the Monday night matchup for us. So make this part of your Monday night routine. Get ready for barn-burning action like Lions-Packers by joining us here on the 360
Can't wait to
Show.
preview that one.
Might not. We won't need much time. So that's going to do it for the show here today. So like I just said, we're live every Monday now, starting at 7:30, live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And if you can't catch us live, you can always subscribe to the podcast version of the show through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from. We do allow, you can email the show, the360sportshow at gmail.com for our podcast listeners who can't join us live. And we will give a quick glance at the mailbag to make sure we're not leaving out any of our wonderful podcast listeners because we do have a following there. And no mail this week. So, podcast listeners, I know you're out there. Send us a line. Drop us a note. The 360sportshow at gmail.com. We want to hear from you. So
all that TikTok, too.
And TikTok, yes. Hit up the TikTok. We are on TikTok now. If you want to see Christian dancing with some kashi, head on over to TikTok.
Coming soon.
Me eating hamburgers and Christian eating kashi. The content you didn't know you needed in your life. So that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Thank you for tuning in and joining and listening along with us here on a Monday night. We'll talk to you all next week.
See ya.